Had you ever heard of Joe Versace?
I feel like I'm the only person that had never heard of him before. The first thing I thought when it was described as muscle for the bikies was, why do bikies need muscle? They usually are the muscle. Apparently Joe Versace was like Vinnie Jones in a Guy Ritchie movie. He would go in and do the work that bikies considered too icky.
Tony? What? Look in the dock.
You mean look in the dock?
And because of that, the people who want to put a bullet in Joe Versace club got bigger and bigger.
The cops acted fast.
Well, they learned from the Nick Martin assassination that swift action pays off. That's why we very quickly started seeing scenes like this. Nothing gets bikies talking on their phones like a TRG raid.
Well, the Optus hackers probably already know who did it.
And now Deloitte's will as well. Mobile phones are playing an increasingly important role in police investigations like this one, not only because people are caught on phone intercepts giving helpful clues.
Are you talking to me on a cellular phone? I don't know you. Who is this? Don't come here. I'm hanging up the phone. Prank caller! Prank caller!
But also because phone tower triangulation means they can put a person near the scene of a crime. You can't beat some good face-to-face intel though, and sometimes it's enough just to put the idea out there that you might be getting some face-to-face intel. The cops made no secret of the fact they were going after rebel kingpin Carl LeBrook. They wanted anyone who knew anything about what happened in Gnangara on Friday night to think Carl might be singing.
Yeah, but what about the Bikie Code of Silence?
That's not exactly what everyone thinks it is. Bikies don't line up to have selfies with Constable Care.
If you follow my safety rules, you won't get into trouble.
But they do talk to cops. Even the old school gangs talk to detectives occasionally. They just don't like people knowing when they do.
After filming at Orabanda, my cameraman and I were forced off the road by a car with bikies on board.
That's what happened 20 years ago when the Gypsy Jokers realised a Channel 7 camera crew had caught them on tape talking to police who were investigating the murder of Billy Grierson out at Orabanda. But generally, no, they aren't out to make the police's job any easier. Carl's been hauled into the cop shop so often he'd have a pre-rehearsed line. Just has to remember it.
I can neither confirm nor deny details of any such operation.
I don't think he would have talked, but we don't know whether the cops had something on him that they could trade with.
You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Give us some information and we'll make a charge disappear kind of thing.
Well, the cops have swooped.
In the first instance, the police didn't expressly say they think Joshua Colin Duperouzel murdered Joe Versace, but when you issue a press release saying Joshua Colin Duperouzel may have information about the murder of Joe Versace and that Joshua Colin Duperouzel may have access to a firearm, then the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, so the manhunt was on.
The second that press release went out, Josh had to make like Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. Because the dogs were on the scent.
Warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse.
It took, what, 2 hours for the police to find him?
Yep.
I was hoping it went down like this. But apparently Josh decided to turn himself in. So he walked up to a random woman in Belmont and requested she ring the police. And then he asked whether he could have the sandwich she was holding and ate it while he waited for the cops to arrive.
What happened to my sandwich?
Weird.
Major Crime Detective Quentin Flatman says Josh is on the periphery of the rebels. Quentin and I clearly have very different definitions of periphery because he looks pretty tight with the club to me. That's going to cause some consternation because senior rebel Joseph Raimondi was one of the first at the scene on Friday night consoling Versace's family.
And they charged Raimondi for his gang tats, which seemed to be harsh.
Oh, well, I don't think the cops especially wanted to be honest, but when there's evidence insignia laws are being breached on every news bulletin, you have to act. Plus, if they didn't, this guy would probably want to know why he gets done every 5 seconds.
True, it was a very busy weekend for police.
While the bikies waited for their front doors to be kicked down by gang crime, their kids went to the Royal Show. That's bogans at Sideshow Alley on Saturday night doing what bogans in Sideshow Alley do best. Get fighty.
What started it?
Dunno. Some argument over a Dagwood dog or the cost of a show bag. I'm Ben Harvey.
Birdie Beetle.
For more update, click the subscribe button below.